Hello everyone, welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. We're in the Scourge set and we're talking about the final commander in this set. This is the Sliver Overlord. This is the second Sliver commander we've talked about. I don't think we've talked about Sliver Legion yet. So this is the second Sliver commander. Very dear to my heart, of course. I love Slivers. It's my favorite tribe to build around. And it's one of my favorite decks I've ever built, period, since I first started playing this game. Sliver Overlord is, of course, a Sliver mutant. It has a wonderful power and toughness of 7/7, that sweet magic number, and a whopping mana value of Wooburg, which is also white, blue, black, red, and green. It has two activated abilities. The first is, for 3 mana, search your library for a Sliver card. Reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Very straightforward. You get a tutor for any Sliver in your deck. And that includes non-creature cards that have the Sliver subtype. So like, because I don't think I have this in this slide for you guys, but I know there's like instants and sorceries that have the Changeling, like the Shapeshifter and Changeling subtype in there. So it is technically a Sliver card, so you could tutor that up even though it's not a creature. Very, very cool stuff that you can do with the Sliver Overlord. Secondly, gain control of target Sliver, and this effect lasts indefinitely. You are stealing a creature from your opponent's control for the rest of the game, which is so very cool. And one of my favorite things to do with this commander. No card rulings for this card, very straightforward. Amoeboid, I don't know how to pronounce this word all of a sudden, but I'm going to say Amoeboid Changeling. It is a Changeling, so it is a Shapeshifter, but because of the Changeling rule there, it is every creature type, including Sliver. And the thing that I love about this card is that you can tap it to have target creature gain all creature types until end of turn, like Sliver, and then use the Sliver Overlord to steal that creature from your opponent. Bear in mind, one of the deck ideas actually fits around this card, and it is the target creature loses all creature types until end of turn. Remember that for when we get into the deck ideas. Speaking of which, the first deck idea, the one that I have, that I built, and again is one of my absolute favorite decks to play around, is Sliver Tribal. Anything that has to do with Slivers, making an army of Slivers, making the Slivers gigantic, using the Slivers for any kind of value engine is a dream come true in this deck, and I love this deck. This was one of the very first 60 card decks I ever built when I first started playing this game. And it was one of the first commander decks that I fully got to like really embody and build around, because it was around a creature type and a strategy that I loved so much. So very much love this deck. If you haven't already, go watch the Sliver Queen episode and I'll talk more about that. For the popular deck idea on EDHREC, and there were a lot of deck ideas on EDHREC, a lot of them fit around with Slivers and stuff, but for this one I did kind of want to focus on like the Sliver Overlord's activated abilities, so Training Grounds is the real focus here, but there are other Slivers out there that have cool activated abilities. Some of those activated abilities you need tap abilities for. So Cloud Shredder Sliver, even though it doesn't have an activated ability, is very crucial to this deck because it lets all of your certain tapping Slivers do their stuff right from the get-go. But Training Grounds is phenomenal in this deck because it makes it so all of Sliver Overlord's abilities cost 1 instead of 2 to activate. So this is like tutor synergy and get your entire deck into your hand and do some crazy shenanigans from your hand Sliver deck, which is really cool. Very different playstyle than how I play mine. And then lastly, this deck idea was on EDHREC, but I thought I felt like I should talk about it because I think this is a fun way to play the game that that it's kind of difficult to play around because it is somewhat meta dependent. But with the help of the Amoeboid Changeling, it kind of works more towards your favor. And this is a creature type matters deck. Similar to how you'd build a Typal deck, but this time we're building it in a way that we want to influence the creature types of your opponent's creatures and take advantage of your opponent's creatures having every creature type rather than you having every creature type. So sometimes giving creatures every creature type will let you do silly things, like, you know, turning them into skeletons, so that way you can, you know, exile them with Undead Slayer, or you can turn them into vampires, or turn them into zombies. Things like the Anzaran Ruins are really cool because they can make it so your opponents can't use certain creatures as long as you keep those creatures to a certain type. Amoeboid Changeling is a great way of doing that, and Amoeboid Changeling is a great way of protecting your creatures to an extent, obviously, because this does affect the changelings you have as well. But to a certain extent, manipulating your creatures to not have creature types is a way that you can protect them from board effects like Anzaran Ruins. And then Standardize, amongst many other blue spells, are really good at this, are among the multitude of ways that you can change the creature type amongst one or multiple creatures on the battlefield, and then have some crazy shenanigans. So this is the inverse of a Typal deck, or a tribal deck, where you are influencing your creatures' types to take advantage of the board state. And I think that's really cool. I've never really seen that before. I've never seen that on like any other content that I've watched. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this idea. And that is going to do it for the Sliver Overlord. Again, one of my favorites to play with. Unlike Sliver Queen, that I have the Stronghold print for, I don't have the Scourge print for Sliver Overlord. I bought the one of the precons. It was the Sliver premium deck series or whatever it's called, and it was the Sliver one. So I bought that, and it's got the cool like Sliver insignia. It's one of my favorite spin down D20s that I get to use, is that one from that precon deck. So that's the Sliver Overlord I have, and it was, I was so excited when I saw it. I had to buy it immediately. So very fun commander, one of my favorites, and again, very popular amongst the Slivers, of course, are all very popular, but very popular, lots of deck ideas to build around. So S rank for this commander. If you want to build around this commander, hop on EDH Rec, go check out all the different deck ideas that people have built around, or maybe try a silly janky one like the one I suggested at the end of this video. And of course, let me know in the comments below if there's anything else I missed or any cards I didn't talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. Happy holidays by the time this is coming out. I am back from celebrating Christmas myself with some friends and family. And I hope you guys have had a good December with whatever celebrations you may have had over the month. And of course, a Happy New Year's to everyone. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, but happy holidays. Thank you guys so much for your support. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!